This edition of MacVoices is supported by the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter to keep you up on all the latest from MacVoices. Watch or listen to MacVoices straight from your email client. Sign up at macvoices.com/newsletter and stay up to date. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, this is a MacVoices briefing on moving to MagSafe. For quite some time, I had not adopted MagSafe in any significant way, for several reasons that we'll get into a little bit later. The iPhone 13 and enough passage of time with the MagSafe technology had passed, though, that I wanted to move over. I was starting to see products that I really wanted to use and felt like I could solve all my problems with those. The iPhone 13 already had a great battery life, so I didn't feel that need to plug in and get the maximum charge in the shortest amount of time, since there were so many options that would allow me to keep my phone charged no matter what I was doing or where I was going. So, I want to share with you some of the products that have made my transition to MagSafe an easy one and one that I don't want to move away from. One thing as we move into this, though, and that is that some of these solutions require an Apple wireless MagSafe charger. That can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. It can be a good thing because, of course, first of all, it's Apple, so you know exactly what you're getting in the way of a quality of a charger. The bad thing can be that there is some extra expense associated with that because you have to buy a MagSafe charger for each one of those devices. If that's not a problem for you, great. If it is, then you may want to look at something that has the charging already built in. Those products are going to be a little more expensive than the ones that you add the charger into later for obvious reasons. So, just so you know where we're coming from, and when I mention that something requires an Apple MagSafe charger, you know that means you have to go and buy one, put it in that device to make it work. So let's get started. A MagSafe iPhone or a MagSafe iPhone case. If you prefer to use your phone without a case, then there's no decision to be made here. But if you do go looking for a MagSafe case, the good news and the bad news is that there are a lot of great choices out there. Great because they come in pretty much every color, every level of drop protection, every design you can imagine. The bad news, of course, is that you have to wade through all of those. And their pricing levels all over the place. So find what works for you and then implement the rest of your system. My personal choice is the Spigen Tough Armor case. I prefer a simple, basic kind of case. The Spigen Tough Armor is that, but it does provide a decent level of drop protection. I also have one that matches up with an external lens system for the iPhone, but that is very specialized and I only use that when I'm using that special lens system. Whatever your choice, be sure to check out the magnetic strength on the case so that you can be assured that your phone won't be dropping off or becoming disconnected from any of the other MagSafe products you will be buying unless you want it to become disconnected. Charging. The big advantage, of course, to MagSafe is the magnetic wireless charging. I determined that there are 4 places that I want to keep my phone charged, and therefore I needed 4 different solutions for those 4 places. The first one is in the car. This was probably my biggest sticking point in moving to MagSafe, because I could not find a mount that was secure enough, that the magnets were strong enough that would hold my phone in place in a case. The only options at that point were Apple's MagSafe cases, which are very expensive, and I had to plug in anyway to access CarPlay. So it really didn't make a big difference for me as to whether I was using a regular magnet mount or a MagSafe mount. So a lot of things have changed since then, and now there's some really great magnetic mounts for the car, whether you prefer dash, windshield, or vent. I decided to go with a recommendation by Mike Potter, which is the ESR HaloLock magnetic wireless car charger. The magnets are plenty strong. The clamp for the vent mount, which is my preference, is firm and doesn't slip when removing the phone from the mount. And there's even a small support arm that takes some of the stress off the vent so that I don't have to worry about breaking off the vent. It comes with a 36-watt QC 3.0 car charger that is dual port, so you can power both the mount and a second device for your passenger, and a USB-A to USB-C cable. I really like this mount. The magnets are super strong And paired with my Spigen Tough Armor case, I've hit a lot of bumps and the phone does not move. And it also articulates just a little bit so that you can angle the phone towards you as the driver, or maybe straight back if you want the passenger to be able to see, or even toward the passenger for them to see. So this is my choice, and I would strongly recommend that you consider this one. But again, there's some really great car mounts out there from Belkin, from Satichi, from a number of other vendors. Check them all out. Find the one that works best for you. At the desk. This one should be pretty easy, and it really was. Again, there are now so many great options out there. But since I already had an Apple MagSafe charger in hand and needed something to put it in, or at least I could utilize it that way, I went for a very basic desk mount. I wanted something that didn't slide around too much, didn't take up a lot of space, but that could be moved easily, and would leave my phone at an angle where I could see who was calling or see any text messages. But because I'm at my desk, I have a nice dual monitor setup. I have cameras for video conferencing, so I really didn't need something that would elevate the phone or position it for video conferencing. That's why I decided to go with the elago MS2 Charging Stand. It's about the size of a baseball that has had a piece sliced off of it. With the MagSafe Charger mounted, and especially with the phone mounted on the MagSafe Charger, it's more than heavy enough to stay in place, but it's light enough to push out of the way when needed. It's inexpensive, it's durable, and it checks all the boxes for my personal wants. Once again, there are a lot of great options out there. Find the one that's right for you. On the nightstand. This is the place that I probably want the most reliable charging option I can find, simply because I'm hopefully going to be asleep and I want the phone definitely fully charged when I wake up in the morning. So I started playing with a number of options. The first one I tried was from Anker, and I really liked it. It was the Anker Foldable 3-in-1 station with power adapter, number 335 wireless charger. This dock lets the phone sit in portrait or landscape orientations and will charge it both ways. There's no magnetic force holding it in place, so you can just lift it on and off of the dock. And it also includes an Apple Watch charger. It's a terrific dock, but I found that I really didn't need it because I tend to wear my Apple Watch while sleeping for sleep tracking. And so I was never using the watch charger. So I played around with a couple other options and settled on another Anker product, the Anker PowerWave 2-in-1 magnetic stand Lite. That stand charges my iPhone and has a spot on it for an Apple AirPods charging case as well. It holds the iPhone approximately 3 to 4 inches above the nightstand, or even at an angle if you prefer that for some reason. You can tilt the angle of the phone as well, so if your nightstand is a little bit low or a little bit high, you can still angle the phone to your eye level. It will take you about a day or two to learn how to remove the phone from the charger without bringing the base with it, which is a testament to the magnetic strength of the base. But once you make that transition, it's a terrific mount that could also be used as an excellent desk option, especially with the AirPods charger. It's worth noting that this dock does come with the USB-C to USB-C cable, but it does not come with the USB-C wall charger. So you're going to want to look to the Anker USB-C wall charger as an addition to this product. On-the-go charging. This was another place I was just a little bit reluctant to give up that extra fast charging you get by plugging in a lightning cable to a small battery bank and getting the charge that way. Even the battery banks that have the built-in cables, those are great, and they were my preference, but they also were inconvenient, and sometimes you could find that something had been disconnected or something had bumped something else. You'd pull your phone out, and it had not been charging. So MagSafe was definitely the way to go with this. I'm happy to tell you there are a lot of great options here as well. A lot of the third-party vendors have come out with some kind of external battery pack that is MagSafe, including Apple. But the one I decided to go with was the myCharge MagLock wireless magnetic power bank. It comes in 16, 32, and 48 battery hour models. I went for the 32-hour option, figuring that should take care of just about any situation I might run into where I needed more than the iPhone's already great battery life. The magnet is extra strong and isn't coming off unless you intend to take it off. making it easy to use the phone while the battery is attached, and also easy to pocket the phone with the battery attached and not have to worry about it coming off. The battery charges via a standard micro USB port on the side. It does not come with a USB charger, but who doesn't have a pile of those laying around? And, depending on what your design sense is, it comes in graphite, black, red, white, and purple. Other MagSafe accessories. So as we said earlier, the magnetic wireless charging is the primary attraction of MagSafe. But now you have that nice powerful magnet on your case or on your iPhone. And the third-party vendors have started coming up with a number of products that are taking advantage of that magnetic connection, not associating it with charging necessarily, but just with connecting the phone to other devices. For example, Moment makes a tripod mount with MagSafe, making it super easy to put your iPhone on any tripod and take it right back off. No clamps, no jaws, just a solid MagSafe connection. A great option, especially if you want those tack-sharp photos from your iPhone 13's camera, but just can't quite hold it still enough. Rosemary Orchard taught me about the Pop Sockets Pop Grip for MagSafe. That product gives you the option of a pop socket grip without having to permanently attach it to the phone. Just remove it when you don't need it or for charging. And it comes in a variety of designs and colors, with or without wallet options, and with a customizable top. A quick note on this one. There are a number of similar products out there on Amazon to the Pop Socket. They all provide, for lack of a better term, a MagSafe handle for your phone. If you decide to go with one of those other options, please test out the magnetic strength. The very idea of having one of these pop socket style handles is that you don't have to grip your iPhone, that you can hold it by the handle or slide that handle between a couple fingers to hold it for video purposes or just to make it more convenient to hold. And the last thing you want is to be left holding that piece in your hand while your phone goes crashing to the ground, shattering the screen or doing other damage. So again, if you decide to go with one of those other options, test it out thoroughly before relying on it. We don't want to see anybody with broken phones. Wrap up. That's the story of my transition to MagSafe and some of the products that I found that have made it something that I should have done a long time ago if they had been available. I would encourage you to go check it out and get rid of all those chargers and lightning cables that you're using now, because once you go MagSafe, you will never want to go back. It is so convenient and so easy, and the extra battery life of the phones themselves now make it a whole lot easier not to feel like you have to charge your phone all the time. But with MagSafe, you usually are. That's a MacVoices briefing on moving to MagSafe. I'm Chuck Joyner. We will be back soon with more Mac Voices. Thanks for watching.